Frozen 2 honestly surprised me. Initially, I was excited from the various trailers that Disney were throwing everywhere, but on the day of watching, I started second guessing. I mean, I didn't like the first one. It wasn't bad by any means, and Let It Go got extremely annoying. And don't even get me started on Frozen's lackluster presence in Kingdom Hearts 3. But if we're talking about Kingdom Hearts 3, Frozen is the least of its worries. Now, I'm no film reviewer, and this is not a film review, just my honest thoughts on the sequel to a film that I didn't enjoy like many. Now, let's just start on the characters, specifically the characterization of Elsa and Anna here. A lot of times, females in modern media tend to wear their gender on their sleeves, instead of presenting something of value, like good relatable character writing. So it's nice to see that Jennifer Lee and Alison Scruder didn't go this route and went for something more akin to the original film. Strongly developed characters. Some say Elsa's boring in this film, but I very much enjoyed her. And it really goes back to the character writing. Elsa and Anna are strong characters in general. Characters that anyone can relate to, doesn't matter the race, gender, or age. I really appreciate that about this film. In this current climate, when representation based on skin and gender is so prevalent, it's hard to get very fleshed out diverse characters in Western media. Now when I say diverse, I'm not talking about gender or race. I'm talking about the good kind of diversity. Stories that anyone can put themselves in and be invested in. In addition to the characters, in the first film I found Olaf very annoying, but here he's actually pretty funny to me. In fact, I liked everyone on the cast, not just Elsa and Anna. They felt like real people who breathe life and exist. Most animated films in the West tend to overlook that part over the guise of animation is just for kids, but I digress. Some fans of the original film may find certain characters acting a bit out of character, but it didn't bother me due to not really having that much investment in the original. Also on the topic of Olaf, the jokes in this movie really had me laughing, not burst out loud, but they were very well executed and the voice talents really brought it home. There's a bit where Kristoff tries to propose to Anna and messes up constantly. Really cliche gag, but every time it happened, it was just enjoyable and fun to listen to. That's in part due to the excellent work that Jonathan Groff does voicing him, and the musical gag he does. 10 out of 10 would watch again. And now that we're on the topic of music, let's move on to our other segment. The music in this film is amazing. The main song, Into the End, blows Let It Go out of the water. Every time we got into a musical note, it just brought me back to classic Disney films like Hercules. It was honestly really well done, from a lyrical perspective, and well, the voice talents. Idina Menzel does not disappoint. There's not much I can add to this. The music is just that good. If you don't plan on seeing the film, which you should, at least listen to a couple of the songs. Now, before I get into my last point, let's touch on the story. Honestly, a lot of people had gripes with the story, but I enjoyed it. I was invested the whole time, and it didn't feel like the film dragged. It was a nice, simple fantasy story. We start on a flashback of Elsa and Anna's parents telling them the story of an enchanted forest, guarded by 4 spirits based on the 4 elements. Arendelle and the inhabitants of that land got into a fight, which in turn angered the spirits, closing off the forest from the outside world for years. Flash forward to the present day, the forest calls out to Elsa, and while she was hesitant at first, the call to adventure won her over, and she ultimately awoke the spirits of the forest, and our 4 characters set off in order to find out the truth of what happened to restore balance. Pretty standard. Now, on to what I wanted to talk about from the moment I left the cinema. The visuals in this film are insane. Honestly, the animation, the choice of colors, some of the dynamic camera angles are phenomenal. The visuals in this film are a work of art and really shows that animation isn't something only made for children. I'd say they rival Into the Spider-Verse, and if you know me, you know I love that film. And that's where I'll end it. I'm Kimtoki, this has been Beyond Animation, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.